Welcome back. My name's Michelle from YFS, and with me again is Mel from the YFS Legal team. Hi Mel, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So today we are going to talk about how to apply for a domestic violence order. So if someone has identified that they're in a situation that exposes them to domestic violence, if they then have identified that they have the appropriate relationship that is identified as being required to apply for a domestic violence order. So now the process of applying for a domestic violence order.
Okay, so the process for applying for a domestic violence order is relatively easy, and I say that from my position of privilege, not being in a situation of domestic violence.
Sure.
So number one, keep yourself safe while you're making your application. So it is just filling out a form. Okay. So you can find that form online. If you just Google domestic violence application Queensland, that form will come up and you can fill it in on your computer. You do need to keep yourself safe, so if someone is monitoring your electronics, do that at a friend's house, ask a friend to help you with that, or you can contact DV Connect or any of the women's services who can help you with that.
What about like the local library? Because the local library does have computers there usually that you can borrow for a period of time. Is that?
Absolutely. Any computer you can borrow for any kind of amount of time, you can use that.
Correct.
You also don't have to fill it out online. You can go to your local magistrates court and pick that form up and just fill it out by hand. So you complete the application form, and the hardest questions to answer on that form are questions 4 and 6. So question 4 is asking why you need a temporary protection order. So that's an order that will start as soon as you've been to court the first time. And question 6 is about why you need a domestic violence order in an ongoing capacity. So that's where you put all of your information about your allegations of domestic violence.
Right.
So your temporary protection order, question number 4, that's where you put the most recent things, the things that you are concerned about will happen when the other party is served with this application. So if you're concerned that they're going to escalate their violence, things are going to get worse, then you will need a temporary protection order. So you list those things in that in that question and in question 6. The rest of the application is writing your name and ticking boxes.
Okay. So I mean, just sitting here and I'm wondering, that sounds like a lot for someone who, you know, might not necessarily feel safe and who has a lot of other things going on for them at the time. Can they get support to complete that paperwork?
Absolutely. So making an application for protection order quite often will be very triggering for someone because they essentially have to relive all the violence that they've been exposed to. You can get help from your local women's advice. I think the Centre for Women and Co in Beenleigh, Domestic Violence Prevention Centre, perhaps on the Gold Coast. I think they might still have one in Beenleigh as well. Those services can assist you with writing your application. There's also women's support services open for people at the magistrates court as well. So if you do go to the magistrates court to pick up your form, you can ask them to link you in with the service at court who can help you complete that form.
Okay. And I suppose one other question that I think would be on my mind if I was in this situation would be, does the other person have to know that I am applying for this?
So the other person does have to know.
Okay.
So once you finish completing your form, you need to sign it before a JP or a lawyer. Then you give it to court. The court staff will then decide whether or not you need to go to court that day to get a protection order before you go home, or if it can wait. Normally, if things are quite serious, they will pop you into court immediately, get you a temporary protection order so that you are protected before the police give that application to the other party.
Right.
So the police will come around to the respondent's house, to the perpetrator's house, and give them that application, and they will tell them when they need to go to court.
Okay. So just in my mind, I guess I'm sort of thinking that if you are in this situation, it sounds like it would be really important to be able to reach out, to get support through the process, if possible,
That's correct. If you do still have contact with family and friends, use them as much as you can. They're going to be your biggest support through this, but there are external support services. So as I said, the Centre for Women and Co in Beenleigh and Logan is quite a big one. They can help you through that. They can provide safety planning so that you are safe through the whole process.
And the reality is, if you are reaching out for services, for support, but you're unsure of what it is that you need to tell people, the people who work in a lot of support services here at YFS, the staff that do the intake are very, very expert at doing an intake and very expert at asking questions. So you don't necessarily need to know what it is you need to know, right?
That's
you just
right.
need to say, I want some help.
Yep, that's right. That's the only thing you need to say is I need some help. Especially when you're calling YFS, you might need to say, I think I need some help with some domestic violence things.
Yeah.
And they will pass you on to someone who
Yep.
can help within YFS. That might be over to legal, where we can, guide you through making that application if you need that extra help.
All right. So to contact YFS, the phone number is 3826 1500. And we might come and talk about the court process in the next video.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you.